Ah yes, Tower of Dread. Once the hardest level in Miitopia. It's not anymore, but it's still hard as hell. So I'm gonna teach you how to beat it. Here are some tips and tricks on beating Tower of Dread. Alright, so before we actually get into the bosses, let's talk about personalities, jobs, and relationship levels. So, as for how leveled up my team is, because we're also going to talk about those, when I first beat Tower of Dread, I had 2 level 44s and 2 level 41s, and while it is possible, I struggled a ton, so I would just say level them up until they're 46 to 47, and then you should be good to go. As for personalities, I had a laid back, an energetic, and 2 kinds, so I'll talk about them more later. Now we get into the interesting part. Jobs. I had a mage, a princess, a cleric, and a chef. And the only one I think is absolutely mandatory if you want to beat Tower of Dread is the cleric, because of Evil Sage, and clerics have Kick of Resurrection, and yeah. Anyway, the cleric is absolutely necessary, there's nothing to talk about there. Now the mage. You could honestly swap this one out with a warrior, because warrior and mage are both damage dealers, and I have a feeling you just need either a damage dealer and a healer. You need those two. The other two are up to you. I went for chef and princess, but whatever, we'll talk about those later. But if you have a mage, you should get them laid back because of the unusually chirpy. And fun fact, if you couple unusually chirpy with the Tower of Flame attack from the mage, you can actually deal 999 damage in a single hit. So I would say this is very worth it. I just picked it randomly at the beginning of the game and it only just came to me now that it's actually very useful. Whatever, let's move on. And if you pick mage, then you should make one of the other ones, not the mage, energetic because of the cheer. And if they cheer on the mage, then the mage gets 55-ish MP, which allows you to just get one more Tower of Flame in there, which is really good. So if you have a mage, pick one of the other Mii's personalities to be energetic. If you pick a warrior, then I don't know. I haven't tested it out with warrior yet, but I know it's good. And as for the other ones, I picked chef because my playstyle is just to deal a lot of damage and never use MP or HP bananas and sweets. And I would just let my healers do the work of the HP bananas. And as for the princess, I picked it solely because of blindfold. And, well, blindfold helps a lot because it practically nullifies, an attack that you would have to put your Miis into the safe spot for. For example, the, the Nightmare attack from, the King of Hounds. You could just block that with blindfold immediately, and it works with many other attacks, so I would say Princess is worth it, but it could easily be swapped out for something else. Maybe a second damage dealer if you're into that kind of stuff. And now for relationship levels, I would say have everyone be at the very least level 30 with every single other team member that you're going to use. Because of all of the perks that you gain in the first 30 relationship levels, you even get Lend a Hand too, which helps a lot. And I would say have at least one level 99 relationship, but if you don't, that's fine. It's not mandatory, it's just something nice that you could have on the side. Anyway, that's it. Let's get into the bosses now. Alright, now that we've finished talking about what team you should have, let's talk about the actually difficult bosses. Because with even close to the team that I had, you can easily make it to Darking Darkwind. So, these final 3 bosses, oh my god. So, first off, Darking Darkwind. Now, one thing you're gonna have to keep in mind is that Darking Darkwind and Evil Sage and all of the other bosses up until there, except for Dark Sun, you are not allowed to use sprinkles, and I'll tell you why. It's because of Dark Sun's reduce everyone to 1 HP attack, which practically just murders your entire team right on the spot and forces you to start over. Now, if you haven't used your sprinkles, then you can easily just nullify the reduce everyone to 1 HP attack during Dark Sun. And if you haven't, Dark Sun's like, hey, screw you, go all the way back and do it without sprinkles, you dumb bitch. So, you have to do these without sprinkles. Yay! So, how do we deal with Darking Darkwind without sprinkles? Safe spot, baby. Waste a turn to heal. Woo! Alright, now onto the actual advice on killing these 2 guys. prioritize getting rid of Dark King first, because he hits like a goddamn truck. If you already killed Dark King, then Dark King's gonna be really easy to deal with. Just Dark King is really hard because he has the slap attack where he just goes on a me, and then he has the rock attack where he just makes rocks fall from the sky and damages your whole team at once. So just constantly pluck them in and out of the safe spot to heal. Even if they're at if they're in the double digits, then put them in the safe spot right there. Nothing else matters in that moment. And honestly, you should really just put your mage in the safe spot, because if you have a mage, then you're constantly going to be running low on MP, because your best attack, Tower Flame, is pretty goddamn expensive, and you're gonna constantly be running out of MP. And if you don't have enough MP for a Tower Flame, pluck them in the safe spot, because you get exactly enough MP for a Tower Flame. You get exactly 50, which is really nice. And that's all I got to Dark King Darkbeam. Don't use sprinkles, use the safe spot a ton, and kill Dark King first. Okay, now we're talking. Evil Sage, the reason you need a cleric on your team. Okay, so, he has the lightning attack, which hits like a goddamn truck, need I say more, and then he has the target attack, which he puts some red circles around your Miis that I don't even know what to call, and then he does like a little one wavy thing next turn, and then boom, the team members that had the circle around them, insta-killed. So, here's how you do this. If you have a mage, then you can pretty much protect them as long as they have full health and a barrier. If you don't, however, you're constantly gonna have to keep your cleric alive, because this is the reason you need your cleric. If you put a me in the safe spot while they have the red circle around them, they will not be killed. But here's the shtick. The red circle goes on 2, so constantly, every single time he does the target attack, you have to sacrifice a person. And here's how you do it. If it's the mage, then you can just give them barrier, and once they're full health, you can keep them. If it's the cleric, pluck them in the safe spot, nothing else matters. If it's the other couple ones, you can sacrifice them, it's fine. And once the cleric is fine and gets their turn, you can revive them, which automatically just means that you get to keep on fighting and just nullify the one hit. So here's the roller shtick here. This boss is the reason you need a cleric on your team, but here's the shtick. Keeping the cleric alive is also pretty difficult, because they're not a class that have pretty high HP. Those are the warriors. So, you can piece together why this boss is pretty difficult, but honestly, if you're just really goddamn careful with the safe spot and deal a lot of damage with Tower Flame and keep your cleric alive at all costs, you should be able to pass this one. And it's on to Dark Sun. Alright, the reason most of you clicked on this video, Dark Sun. Here we friggin' go. Alright, so, Dark Sun's main attack are the Nickels, which deal like 100 damage each, almost kind of in that vicinity. So, just from judging that, he gets 2 attacks per turn, and they deal almost 100 damage each. Use the safe spot. Use the goddamn safe spot. Also, during the first phase is what I like to call it, aka before the freaking 1 HP attack. You are allowed to use MP and Shield Sprinkles. MP because the mage, and, well, you need MP to be able to deal damage. And Shield Sprinkles because, well, you saved them during Evil Sage, and you kinda need them here. If you were to use your Life Sprinkle, use it on the goddamn Cleric, because all of the other ones can be easily revived by the Cleric, but you can't really revive the Cleric with anything but Avenge, and that's really unreliable because it requires another teammate to go down, and it has a chance of not working. So if you were to use your Life Sprinkle, do it on the Cleric. And now is after the 1 HP attack, use all of your HP sprinkles to bring every single one of your team members all the way back up to full health, practically nullifying the attack. And also use Hyper Sprinkles if you're a chump, or if you don't have level 50s. With level 50s, it's actually possible without Hypers. I just prefer to do it with Hypers because it's funny. And that's all I got to Dark Sun. I tried to simplify it as much as I can to make it as easily understandable as I could, because I'm shit at explaining stuff, but whatever. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.